viewers. Welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host. My name is Anne Murimi, and I'm delighted that you're joining us once more. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The handle is GBS TV Kenya, and we're also live on Facebook, GBS Kenya, and we do have an SMS line. We encourage you to send in your questions on that number. The number to use is 21144. So with me in studio, I have a gentleman, and we're going to have a very interesting topic today. So we're basically going to be talking about the older people in our society, because we're looking to celebrate the International Day of Older Persons 2019 on the 26th of September this year. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Please introduce yourself so that my viewer can know who you are.
My name is Tom Okech. I'm the Executive Director of La Vie Foundation. La Vie is French for life, Life Foundation.
Okay.
And this is an organization that works for the welfare of older persons. We are based in Kibera, Nairobi, but we work in several areas across the country.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. And what you're doing is such a noble task, because you rarely hear people who are focusing on older persons. Actually, a lot of people nowadays tend to focus on children and youth.
Exactly.
But they forget that once you stop being a child, you join the youth, then you eventually become an older person.
Yes.
What is an older person in terms of what age are we talking about?
Okay, according to the UN, an older person is from 60 years and above.
Okay.
Kenya, we are kind of describing it as 70 years and above, because
Yes.
that's the age from which we begin giving them the older person stipend.
The stipend, yeah.
Yes,
Which they are
previously.
very happy about.
Oh, yes. Previously it was 65, but then it was raised to 70.
Yes.
But this is still not clear, because people are retired at a much earlier age. So we are still pushing so that in Kenya we also recognize older persons from the age of 60.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
because once you retire, really, you should automatically move into the older person's bracket.
Yes.
And then now you start receiving all the benefits and care that come under. So when I look at you, I can already see that that is not the age you're at yourself. So how come, what happened, what is the journey that led you to, are you the founder of La Vie Foundation?
Oh, yes, I am.
What is the inspiration behind it? What's the story behind you forming it?
Right. Initially, just like you mentioned, I was working with the youth and children.
Oh, interesting.
And as there was a time we were following up on vulnerable children, wanting to know their background.
Yes.
So we followed them up to their homes
Okay.
to see who they live with, where they live, how they get their food, how they manage to go to school.
Yes.
So when we were doing this research, then quite a few of them, we realized were living with older persons.
Exactly.
And then when we interviewed them, how do you take care of this kid? How do you get food to give them?
Yes.
How do you manage to take them to school? And then the answer was Mungu. And Mungu, okay, God provides.
everywhere.
God
I mean,
provides.
yeah.
Then do you work? No, I don't work. How do you get food? To Mungu. And then, and then
Oh my God.
this helped me to identify that there was a gap somewhere.
Yes, a
that was
huge
not
gap.
being addressed. These people who don't work, who don't have any source of income, who don't know what they're going to eat next, the next meal, where the next meal is going to come from. But then they're also taking care of other people.
And they're still taking care of, because basically the orphaned and vulnerable children, they came up a lot during when HIV came, because maybe their parents passed on.
Yes.
So it is now the grandparents of these children who had to take care of them.
Exactly.
Yet they have no income.
Yes. So
Wow.
when that appeared several times, then I identified that, and then started a meeting or a round table
Yes.
for these older persons who are taking care of vulnerable children.
Yes.
So I wanted them to share their
Their
challenges.
issues, their challenges.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I brought them together.
Okay.
And then it became interesting that they even got relieved when they heard that other people were going through the same challenges that they were going through, and then there were many other people who had the same issues, whose daughters had given birth and left the children there with their sons, or their children had died and left them with the grandchildren, whose grandchildren could not go to school, could not go out, get health care because of one or two issues. So I realized they needed that space to be able to speak out.
Number one, just talking about it instead of bottling it inside.
Yeah, because again, another thing that I identified that was quite serious, and it still happens with some older persons, is that they get to a point where they forget about themselves. And then you are asking them, what are the challenges you face as a person? And they tell, oh, my grandchild is what? My grandchild. I don't know. Okay, fine. What
focus
are
on
your challenges? And they can't find. They will always speak about the grandchildren.
Is it that they're so giving? They've even forgotten about themselves. Yes. They're just talking about. But you know what? It's also because that is really what is their major concern. Because grandparents have a great love for their grandchildren.
Yes.
So they do actually. They're forgotten, and even then themselves, they're forgotten about themselves.
That happened, including even if you serve them meals, they would want to carry and not eat. Like, oh, I want to take to my grandchildren. So we started a program for them. And
when you say we, basically because they came and told you, that's around the time that you formed La Vie Foundation.
Yes, that time. So
which year was that?
That was in 2003.
Oh, that was in 2003.
Oh, yeah, it's been a long time. So I brought together a few friends, like-minded. Some of them we used to work with the youth. Some refused and said, "What do you do with older persons?"
I know, they were like, "Apana, what a mungo
Yeah. And then some agreed.
They were overwhelmed, I think, by the feedback.
Yes. So they agreed, and we started this, and we started working on it. And after 2 years, we realized, okay, this is something that we can do.
Where did you get the funds to even start?
Our own.
Wow.
Like when we were having
These
the
are
round
the Kenyans
tables.
we need.
Yeah. Like when we were having the round tables, we used just to donate our own money, make tea or make meals. We eat together with them.
Yes.
Yeah. And after 2 years, we realized this thing, we can do it better than what we are already doing. So we decided to register an organization. So La Vie Foundation was registered in 2005.
Okay.
Yes. So it's been, we've been moving through that, and today we are having programs that we are doing with older persons. We do feeding, basic health care, shelter improvement, and relocation. Shelter improvements is where we improve the shelters where they live, whether in Kibera or wherever. Then relocation is where we relocate older persons who are stranded in cities. Yeah, because you find there are those who came to the cities when they were young, and then the age caught up with them. They are old now. They have no funds or no resources to be able to move back. If they have homes, some don't have. If they have other homes where they can move to, they don't have resources even to go there.
Even the bus fare, basically.
Yes, and build a house. And you know, in most African cultures, it's very difficult for an old person to go and enter another person's house.
It's impossible.
Yeah, there are lots of taboos, and they have just to get their own. So it is very difficult for them. So in relocation, we look for resources and where, because we are not able to buy land. So if the family, their family has some land and can allow them back, because some are not allowed back.
Because of they are estranged for various reasons.
For various reasons. So if they can be allowed back, then we take them there, do some simple structure for them, and then reintegrate them back into the community. Maybe if they have some strength to do business, we can start for them some small business. If
just
they
something
don't have,
simple.
Yeah, if they don't have strength, then we can talk to the nearest business person and introduce a good that the business person is not working with, so that if that one is sold, the profit goes to this older person, and then they can keep replenishing. And we follow that for about 6 months. And
so you link them up with a younger person who can manage the business but share the profits with them. Sort of like a partnership.
Yes, a partnership.
Because maybe you're able to channel some funds to them, but they don't have the manpower to do the physical work, you know.
Yes, and our funds are also not much.
Exactly.
So we can just introduce just 1 or 2 items in a shop or in another business.
So they sell those items and then they make money from them.
Yes, then this business person would give them, the older people, the older person, some the
At least
profit,
some money, the
to
profit,
to
yeah.
keep them going, or even if not money, just give them unga or what they need.
The food, yes.
So that's how we do relocation. Then we also have home-based care, where we visit them in the homes. Those who are sick or just too old to walk, blind, we visit them in the homes and take care of them there. We also have micro learning and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about,
yes,
basically.
that's what I'm talking about, that where we give some funds to help them do business.
Yes.
Then we also have a volunteerism program for the young who we are inviting to work with older persons. So one, that they can understand the challenges of older people.
Yes.
Yeah, and this also spreads advocacy around the challenges of older people.
Recently, actually, we had a show here and we were talking about how to retire well. And one of the things that I was hoping to hear from you, which I'm not hearing a lot, is NSSF. Does it play any role in these people? Because these people used to work. The fact that they're in an urban area means that there's a time they had a job. And probably their companies used to pay NSSF for them. Do you have a channel where you can pursue such funds? Or maybe even they were in a company that they used to contribute and their employers used to contribute. Do you come across such scenarios?
Yeah, that we come across a lot, and that comes under our advocacy program.
Okay.
Yeah, where we help them even follow up, because following up an SSF funds is not easy.
You actually need an organization to do it for you, because you're going to go there every day, wait for so long, be hungry.
And maybe they have relocated, they're out of the city, or they are too far from Nairobi, and sometimes you have to come to Nairobi to be able to do some of these things.
Yes.
Yeah, so we help them to follow up. And even other advocacy programs that we do, we even follow older persons, even those who are jailed, and we try and find out why exactly was this older person jailed. And sometimes you find that the reason that made them get jailed was not of their own, and maybe something happened. So
this was a wrong
we try and follow up and even help where we can.
Okay.
Appeal on their behalf where necessary. So those are some of the things we are doing.
So it's very broad.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mentioned the particular things we do, but then when you work with them, these issues will always come up. They will always come up.
I'm sure even things like inheritance matters, land matters.
Those ones come a lot, and that's why I was telling you that some of them are not accepted back to where they came from. They have families, but they're not accepted back, because when it comes to issues of inheritance, especially the women, a lot of them are not accepted back where they were born or where they were married.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are issues of land and nobody wants them to inherit the land.
Exactly.
Their brothers are saying, you can't come here and inherit land. This is for the boys.
For the boys.
Yeah,
and you're a woman,
so there are those issues that they face. Some we are not even able to help, but then now we look for alternatives. Now, if you're not accepted anywhere, where do you go?
Yeah.
Look for a home.
Do you have a shelter, a home?
We don't have on our own, but we work in partnership with other organizations that have a shelter where we can refer them when they cannot be on their own.
Okay.
So that's how we work. And we also work with the government.
Okay.
We partner with the State Department for Social Protection in the work that we do. And even this week, as we are celebrating the International Day of Older Persons, we are working in partnership with the State Department of Social Protection.
Okay.
Yes, and this is a great week for older persons across the world. Yeah, because this is their week. The International Day for Older Persons is usually celebrated on 1st of October. It is a UN day.
Okay.
Yeah, since 1991, it has been celebrated every year on 1st of October.
Okay.
And there is the national event.
Yes.
That will be coming up on 1st, and it will be here in Nairobi at Umama Grounds in Komarok.
Okay.
Then they also build up activities leading up to that day.
That event, yes.
Yeah, so we have several build up activities, and one is the one we'll have in Kibera on 26th, Thursday 26th of this month.
Okay.
Where we'll be having, it's like in the Nairobi region.
Yes.
Yeah, coming there and having a day. We are having all the persons coming from different parts of Nairobi to gather in Kibera. And we are going to have a procession just to let the people know that
they're still
a day of
there.
older persons.
It's their day and we're celebrating them.
Just to wake them up. Like,
I know.
okay, what about older persons, so that they can start thinking about them.
Yes.
We'll have cultural activities because older persons are the custodians of our cultures.
And our history.
And our history. So we have invited different communities, including the Asian community will be there together. And in fact, a sister company of US Silver Academy is coming there with us.
In fact,
and we'll also have the Korean culture being talked about.
That's great. So I'm happy that you're already in touch with the Silver Academy.
Yes.
Yes.
So we will be there showing the cultures and even explaining some things across cultures.
Okay.
Yeah, because the things you would hear about a community, the Luos, Teruburu, what's this?
And you don't understand.
Yeah.
And other people don't understand. Yes, they're the ones. You see, these older people are the people who understand this culture very well.
Yes.
And are you going to be documenting it also? Because I'm starting to feel like I fear for our country that we're going to lose a lot of information about ourselves if we don't go the extra mile of actually getting people to listen and write and interpret, because of course I'm sure language, most of them use their mother tongue.
Right.
So is that something that you're also looking at?
Yes, we do that documentation, especially through our partner, the HelpAge.
HelpAge Kenya.
Kenya.
Yes.
Okay, now it's HelpAge International in Kenya office. We don't have HelpAge Kenya anymore. They closed down the HelpAge Kenya office, so it is HelpAge International Kenya office.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do quite a bit of the documentation.
Okay.
Yeah, as an organization. So that is where you will find the bulk of all this that is happening around older persons.
Okay.
Yes, and we would not say that we've done enough because there's still a lot out there.
To do, yeah.
Older persons have stories. If you listen to them, some of them have done things that have brought this country glory, but they're not recognized anywhere. So one way is that we are pushing so that all these stories could be put together, just to recognize the work they do, have it somewhere that people can read and know that older persons have been able to do this. So
exactly.
So that
even we honor them while they're still alive, because what tends to happen is that maybe they die and then you start remembering how great they were, and so you're eulogizing them.
Yeah.
But it's also good to celebrate them while they're alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about numbers. I don't know if you have an idea when it comes to that category of 70 and above or 60 and above. How many are they in Nairobi, in Kenya?
All right.
Roughly.
I don't have the exact numbers, but I know we have just a little above 2 million older persons.
2 million, okay.
Yes.
That's important also for politicians, right?
It is. I was actually trying to get these figures from the ministry, but they didn't come in time. Okay. Yes. Then those are the ones who are 70 years and above. Okay. Yes, and a small percentage of that get the stipend.
So it's not the entire 2 million who are getting. No, it's the ones who actually registered the first time it was announced. Oh. Maybe the ones who are registered already.
Right. There were those who are registered at 65, who then were moved into this new one. Okay. We are no longer taking the 65 years below 70. So those who have gone to register for the 70 plus program are receiving, although not all of them. I don't want to say here and then they will accuse me.
I know, they'll come for you. And they have time. They have time to wait for you to arrive, and they start telling you their issues because,
yes, a lot of them have issues. Yes. They are not receiving. They should be receiving. Okay. Some of them have not been accepted into the system for various reasons. And this is where we are working with the ministry, the State Department for Social Protection, to be able to reach those who have not been reached and the very vulnerable. You see, there are those who are at 70 years plus, but they are able.
And
they can even be donors.
Exactly, they can even be donors to the others.
Yes, so those ones, not necessarily, but the ones who are vulnerable, who cannot find food, who cannot, maybe they are even paying rent, they can't find. Yeah. So those ones, all of them need to go into the system and receive this, but not yet.
Not yet, they're not yet.
But as the ministry says, we are progressing.
We're progressing. And you know what? We need to actually look at where we have come from and the few things we've been able to accomplish. Even the fact that there are those who are receiving a stipend. I know the stipend is 2,000 shillings every month. I know it's not enough. I know that you're working to increase it. But it's also good to celebrate that at least it's there. Because
Exactly.
before that, there was nothing.
There was nothing
Yeah.
previously. So that one we appreciate and we celebrate
Yes.
that there is something happening.
Yes.
There are those who are receiving.
Yes.
Maybe they may say the amount is little, all of them are saying the amount is little, but at least they are
there's
getting
something.
something. It gives them hope as well. Like, okay, at the end of the month,
At
or
least
after
something to
3
look
months,
forward to.
I'm going to get my 6,000.
Yes.
Gives them hope to live another day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'm concerned about when it comes to older persons is I know there's the issue of finances, but there's also the issue of idleness, to be honest. In your interaction with them, what are their days like? You know, because earlier you talked about how a lot of people don't know how to deal with them. They just put them under a tree,
Yes.
cover them with a kikoi, make sure they're not cold. In fact, you know, like the Maasai red shukas, bring them uji, bring them lunch, leave them isolated. What do they do, and what do they miss?
We actually say there is a lot of neglect of older persons.
That's the right word, actually, neglect.
Yes, they are neglected right from the family level to the state level,
Yes,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Yes, older persons are lonely. Majority of them are lonely. But the reason why majority of them are lonely
Yes.
is because a lot of people don't know how to deal with them.
There's a lack of knowledge.
There's lack of knowledge, lack of understanding that these people also need attention.
Yes,
Yes, when they sit there, they have a lot to say.
they do.
But if there is
Actually, their stories are never ending. That's
Never
why that's why
ending.
some people run away from them.
Yes, but if there's no one who wants to listen, they will keep quiet and watch.
Yeah.
And sometimes you are struggling with something they know.
Maybe
they can help
even
you.
sort you out.
Yeah,
they have
they-
wisdom.
Yes,
They
they
have
can tell you, okay,
experience.
this one is done this way. But because you're not
Yeah.
consulting and you don't want to listen, they will just watch you.
They see you doing the wrong
right,
thing,
doing
they get
it.
into a hole.
And you see, we sometimes shut them up and say, oh, the way you used to do things are no longer the way we do things today.
Yeah.
But there are things that are still very applicable
That's correct.
to our time.
Yes.
And if you listen to them, you would learn a lot.
Yes.
And we
They're a
should be
fountain
able
of
to
wisdom,
carry
actually.
forward their wisdom, what they know, where they have been.
Yes.
All these things, even if you're in Nairobi city, a lot of things that we have, the buildings, some of the things, the planning, they did. This older persons did.
They did.
Yeah, we're just
that.
coming into what they had started.
They
So
can
we-
even tell who is building on the road reserve. You know,
Oh,
all those
yes.
things.
They-
That's information. Where the beacons are. You know.
Yes, they can tell it. They can show you a building and say this building used to be the first governor's
Yes.
building in Kenya, the
Exactly.
Muzungu governor. They tell you
They have a
such
lot
things.
of history.
Yeah. We have those who are in the fight for independence.
Of course,
and
we
they have
have those-
stories.
they have
What they saw in the
stories.
forest, what
Yes,
happened,
yes.
how they were. Even the women used to take them food, how they were hiding. And it's a lot of stories.
How
that
they
we need
used to
listen.
fight that war.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
That's true.
There's a lot that we can learn from them. So this day, the International Day of Older Persons, is a day that we need to celebrate older persons.
Yes.
We as organizations and as the government, we will be doing these activities where we'll be calling people together.
Yes.
Not all older people will be able to come to these events that we are having.
That's true.
So we are calling upon people wherever you are, families, neighborhoods.
Yes.
Please celebrate these older persons this week. This is their week.
This is their week.
where
Remember
please,
them.
as
Call
we go,
them.
Yes, as we go towards the 1st of October, please celebrate them. Even in a small way.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a big thing. Just make them realize that some people still think about them. People still care about them.
Yes.
People would still want even to listen to them.
Yes.
Even if you don't do anything else, just go and sit and let them tell you something.
Actually,
Yes.
that is what they crave for a lot. Just somebody to talk to, somebody who can listen to them, somebody who they can give their stories to, you know.
Yes.
I find that they tend to want to do that a lot because there's really nothing much that they can do. But another thing is that I find that the women especially, they tend to have activities like making baskets, and that makes them, I don't know whether that's the reason, but are they in that category of 2 million, are they more men or women?
Or more women.
Of course, there are more women.
Oh, yes.
I think I knew the answer to that, but I was just confirming. And I'm saying that some of these activities, they do the weaving, the beading. Do you actually do you find that to be helpful?
Okay, the bidding, a lot of them cannot do bidding because the eyesight is not
Okay.
very good.
Okay.
But those who can do very nice
Yes.
bidding, basket making. So, and they have various skills. They have lots of skills.
They do.
Yeah, so where we can, we help them to be able to continue doing what
Yes.
they know. So this also helps them to keep active.
Exactly. To exercise.
You
a
know,
little bit.
when they just lie there, sleep there, they die quickly.
They do.
But then when they're active, it even helps their health.
Yes.
So we encourage them a lot
Yes.
to do something that they can do, even sit by the roadside and sell ndizi and talk to people.
Just interact, you
Pesa
know.
ngapi? Shilingi tano. Yeah, it helps them engage.
It helps them to
and be
engage
healthy,
and be a bit relevant, keep up with the times, know what's happening politically, because they also love to give their opinions on that as well. So
Yes.
I think what you're doing is very commendable.
Yeah, and
very
they know
noble.
a bit of politics.
They know a bit of politics.
Recently, when the members of parliament wanted to increase their salaries, we had a session where
With
they
them.
were very bitter and they said, how? We don't even have food. They are already earning a lot. Why should they?
Do they know how much we're getting per month? Can they listen to their elders? Because these are the elders. So basically, from my interaction with you, I can tell that you're in touch with them often.
Yes.
Do they have meetings, like weekly meetings, monthly meetings that are regular? Because another thing is that even if you're not able to meet them, you can create forums for them to meet others of their age. Do they like to interact with each other?
They do,
Okay.
and they like a lot. All the organizations that work with older persons, just like La Vie Foundation, we have a few in Nairobi. We have Karika Shoulder Trust. We have Buruburu 60 Plus. We have Kasarani mothers, grandfathers and grandmothers. We have several around Nairobi.
Okay.
We have days when they meet.
Okay.
Like at La Vie Foundation, every Thursday, they come together.
Okay.
So every other organization that work with them in
They have
Nairobi
their own
and even
days.
outside Nairobi, there are days when they come together.
Okay.
Some are church-based and they meet on Sundays.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is going on, and it is helping them a lot when they can be able to sit together, interact, and even speak out and say what they think, what they feel.
Because they have the benefit of, unlike children, they really know what their needs are.
Yes.
They can articulate well, and it's just a matter now of organizing to meet those needs,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, we are helping them to be able to speak that. Like I said initially, that they had forgotten about themselves.
Yes.
Some of them still, if you ask them what they would prefer, they say, vile umesema. Even if you tell them, do you think the government is doing well with this? Oh, serikali ikisema tutasema nini? You see, like they have lost hope. They will just accept anything that comes by. But we're trying to teach them just to be firm and say, this is what I want. Even if you don't get it, but you've said this is what you wanted.
Yes.
Okay, you've not gotten the whole of it, but say what you feel you need.
Do you have a mental health angle as well for them? Because when you forget about yourself so much, you're feeling irrelevant. You're so concerned with others, yet you yourself, you have needs. Do you also sometimes organize maybe for psychologists to come and talk to them? Because that means that you need to teach them to be more assertive, more self-aware.
Yeah, we have organizations that deal with that, and we partner with them, like Ushirika Health Center in Kibera.
Yes.
We have other partners that are elsewhere, and we, from time to time, we invite them to come and speak to them. We invite preachers to come and share the word of God with them. Yes. And since we have mixed religions, we would call Christian preachers, we would call Muslims to come in and talk to them.
Okay.
And currently we are getting partnerships with the Hindu community. Yeah, like this week, the event on 26th of this month is supported a lot by the Hindu community, the Asian community.
How do they take care? Do they take care of theirs differently, their older ones differently?
Oh yeah,
is the support system better?
They have support systems, like in temples, almost all temples, there are older persons living there. Almost all of their temples, they have those systems of taking care of.
And that means that they're able to get very good care.
Oh yes.
Because I know that they give generously.
Yes, they do.
And they also value them. And they also tend to be very family. They're organized in a very family way, sort of. Like they even live together.
Yes.
So we can learn from them.
Yes, we can learn from them, and what they're doing, like they have liked to, initially, before we got closer to them, we didn't know they would even want to work with these other persons, but then we've realized they are very excited about it.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
they have contributed towards this event that we are going to have on 29th. We have on 26th, sorry. And we have one of them who is actually helping us to plan and to seek resources, Jagdish Ganapathy.
Shout out to him, wherever he is. Make sure you send him a link, tell him to subscribe so that they can hear that he was mentioned today for the good work that he's doing.
Jagdish Kanapath, if you're there, we appreciate you and the work you are doing and all that you have brought together to help the older persons. We really appreciate.
That's nice.
Yes.
Okay, so another thing is health-wise, they also tend to have a lot of medical issues.
Yes.
Do they get any special benefit, for example, from NHIF?
Yes, they do. Those who are registered for the stipend, the monthly stipend, or the Inua Jamii,
Yes.
are also registered with NHIF.
Okay.
Yeah, to receive healthcare, and the government is paying,
Okay.
or is supposed to pay so that they don't accuse me.
I know.
Some of them
very careful.
Yes, some of them go to hospital and they are told there is no money in your card. So
they've been given cards, like smart cards.
yes, the NHIF card. So when you go there, they say, oh, it's not been paid.
Okay.
So there's that issue. But they are registered together. When you register for Inua Jamii, they also registered for NHIF. So we are only appealing to the government that they
to load up those cards.
They load the cards.
Yeah, load those cards.
So that these older persons can be able to get health care.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but we need to do more.
We need to do more.
Yes.
And the good thing is, at least the structures are in place, because I'm sure you had to do a lot of lobbying to get them to even be recognized, to get them to getting a stipend, to be registered.
Yes.
So, but that's a big step, and so we just need to make sure that now after the registration, the money is coming, it's budgeted for, it's prioritized.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure you have, at least you're working with the State Department of, what do you call it, of Social Protection.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are working with them, and we tell them this a lot. And
make the future for yourself.
Yes.
Because soon.
And we also tell them that you are also going to retire, and those in government even retire earlier, because you are reminded. From 3 years, you are reminded.
You
please,
have 3 years. Be knowing.
There's
a countdown, eh?
You have 1 year. Yeah, so there is a countdown.
That is scary.
Yeah, and we even tell them that you need to make this department better, because you are heading there.
You're heading there.
Yes. And you see, if this is not done, because a government has a lot of issues to deal with the whole country. Exactly. There are issues of the children, the youth, all this. Yes. So if there's no advocacy, most of the time that thing will be pushed.
It will be pushed aside. It will be forgotten.
Pushed aside, and
you see the numbers are not on their side in a way. 2 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so they need to. But even if the numbers are few, really they have a lot of resource within themselves that they can be able to pass on. Even the things that we're seeing in our society, I think they can be able to help just by advising their children, their grandchildren, But there seems to be a disconnect.
Yeah, we're even encouraging the recognition of Council of Elders.
Yes.
Yeah, in various communities, and if they can be recognized by the chiefs at the ground level, would help a lot. There are a lot that older persons can help in this area, because these days you find chiefs who are 30 years.
So young.
So they are very young.
Even when the older person shows up, they're like, "You go happy, chief?"
Yes.
The chief is in front of you, and you're like, "No, not this one. The main one."
Yes. Yeah, so
because time was really good,
Yeah, so if they can get this wisdom from older persons, have them around them, just to help them dealing with issues in the community, it will help a lot. Yeah, there are things in paper on the law, but if we followed the law, including things that maybe against the law, but not harming anyone. Because some of those things need to be talked in the community. Don't take them to court, don't jail people.
Oh, you mean like resolving disputes?
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah, the Council of Elders, they can help.
Yes,
some of these matters, it's really just a lot of wisdom in talking, and a bit of history in terms of especially land matters.
Yes.
So we can be able to reduce the burden on our courts, which the process there takes so long.
Yes.
And it's not for reconciliation.
It is not.
Yeah, the Council of Elders
will win, but then
there's a win-lose.
There's a win-lose, and then that enmity will continue in the family.
Exactly.
I think or in the community.
Yes.
So the Council of Elders can help a lot around this. That some issues can just be taken before them. I appreciate that former CJ Mutunga tried a lot
to do
to do this, to just to ask that some of these things should be resolved outside the court.
Yeah, those mechanisms.
Yeah,
and even if they come into court, they can just be like referred there.
Yes.
Because these people, they are there, they are willing, and they
the
can
problem
help.
is that if you have filed a matter, unless the other party, both parties agree to go for a dispute resolution outside court, it won't go. If anyone insists on being in court,
You've got to stay there.
Yeah. So, but we just want to hope that the older persons can be given this chance to be able to share. If you have 5, 10 of them somewhere, the decision they make, the decision that the majority will make,
it's going to be sound.
It will be sound.
Likely. So basically, also another thing is that most of them tend to be of sound mind. Because I'm wondering, do you have some maybe who have diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, or those ones?
Yeah, there are those who are sick, who have those diseases, but quite a number of them are still very sober. Their minds are clear.
Sound mind,
yeah, and they even help us in looking at the policies, like when we were doing the older persons. The policy on older persons. Some of them, the judges came in and helped us do a few things.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I'm sure they feel so, they feel like at least somebody has remembered us, somebody has noticed us.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned that La Vie Foundation works in Nairobi, but also you're in other counties. Which other counties are you in?
Oh, like in Kajiado. We are in Kajiado, we are in Taveta, at Maungu. We are in Turkana, in Lodwar. We are in West Pokot, we are in Trans Nzoia, and we are in Kisumu as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have our
good,
site offices in those places where we do our advocacy from.
Okay.
Yes.
I need us to talk a little bit about the challenges, and especially the challenge of funding. How do you fund La Vie Foundation? Because you say that initially when you started, it was basically you approaching your friends to be able to make the tea and bread. But now that, you're in so many counties, tell us about that.
All right. Funding, I would not say we have funding as such, but we have partners that come in and help one thing or the other from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have like a flowing funding throughout.
Okay.
But what we do a lot is through our advocacy, we reach out to potential partners who support from time to time. If there is something happening that we would want Wazés in Turkana to come together and be able to do, then we would seek a partner, even at the ground there, because you will always find some organizations around there or people there. But if you can find from outside, you will also find to go and do. Some would help do something national.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we have been moving, and we appreciate Helpage has been doing a lot through that partnership.
Yes.
Yes, because they even help us to come together and form the National Association for Older Persons. Yeah, the Helpage and the ministry. Yeah, they help us to come up with the National Association for Older Persons, where we are now able to bring together all these organizations that work with older persons and be able to share. So like if a day like this is coming, the International Day of Older Persons, we would be able to know what that partner is doing and on which day what that partner is doing.
Because you've already communicated to them in advance.
Yes, we have already.
You've given them your budgets, and then they can pick items.
Yeah, they can pick items, or just publicize what is being done. Sometimes they may not have funds to give you, but they can publicize the work that is being done.
Yes.
And it helps. It makes people know exactly what's going on. Sometimes, like now, as we are doing this, a lot of people are hearing for the first time that the issues around older persons. There are people who are hearing for the first time.
The International Day
for Older Persons. Some people don't know there is such a day. So when we engage like this, and we appreciate GBS,
thank you
for giving us this chance to be able to speak out to people and tell them that we need to care for our older persons. We need to care,
because what's happening is that as the lifestyle is getting better, as the disposable income increases, as we improve in healthcare, what is going to result is that these 2 million people, that bracket is going to keep growing. So we really need to be ready for that. Right now, I know we have got lots of children, lots of youth, but our future is coming where we really need to also prepare.
You're right, and we sometimes tell people in forums that Kenya is getting old and people don't understand us. When we tell them Kenya is getting old. As we are moving forward, we are heading to a time when we will have more older persons than the younger ones.
Well, are you saying, actually you're right, because I know that, you know how you tell that is because there's some certain counties where the rate of childbirth is very low.
Very low.
You go to their schools, in their nurseries, you find they're empty. That is a sign
Yes.
that what you're saying is true, that you're going to have more older people.
Yes.
But not so soon.
Not so soon.
Like
but
how
we're
many
heading
years?
there.
We need to have a time
by
wide
2050,
by 2050, we'll have more.
we'll
have switched.
we'll be seeing a lot of older persons around.
Yeah, also people and their choices, not wanting to get married or marry, not wanting to have children, all those things are going to contribute.
Yes, because these days people are looking at, the youth are looking at careers. They start childbirth very late, and then limit the children they can give birth to. Most families now average 3 children. Yeah, we have moved from 7. We are now.
I know 7, 11. My grandma.
All of us have parents who are given birth by parents, or we have guardians if our parents are not there. We have guardians.
Yes.
And even if you don't have the immediate guardians or parents, there are some older people around you.
Who are your relatives?
Yes, who are
your
relatives.
uncles,
So
your aunts,
your neighbors. You'll always see older persons near you. And first, we would appreciate that some of the youth or some of the young people are taking care of older persons.
Okay.
Some mean quite well, even some who work away in cities and have their older relatives or parents or guardians back in the village or somewhere else. They try to help and even try to send back support so that they can be supported.
Yes.
So, but again, there are many other older persons who are suffering.
Yes.
Suffering because they are neglected, and some are outrightly abused.
Yes, we do tend to hear about those cases.
Yes. Quite a number of them are outrightly abused. In some communities in Kenya, the young people pray that they die so that they can inherit. And if the prayer doesn't work, they try and push them to heaven so that they can
make room on earth.
Yes.
That's very unfortunate, actually.
Some are actually killed so that they leave space so that the young ones can inherit land.
They tend to feel insecure sometimes, right?
The older persons? Yes, they are insecure, and in some parts of this country, they run away from home and live, even in the forest if they can't get homes. Really? And there is such a situation in Kilifi where older persons have run to a place in the forest where they have made a home. It's not very nice, but that's where they can live another day. Yeah, it's a sanctuary. So they can live another day. So they run there because if you start growing white hair, you are a witch. So they will kill you before you kill them.
No wonder I can see why we need advocacy, because honestly, white hair has got nothing to do with witchcraft at all. If anything, it's a sign that you're old and you've gone through a lot,
Yes.
and you're still with us.
And everybody will grow white hair at some point. But then in some places they say, okay, when you grow white hair, now you become a witch, you will bewitch them. In some communities, they believe it is the older person who should die before everyone else. So if a child dies in a family where there is an older person with white hair, this death came to the older person, but the older person deflected it to the kid. So for no other child to die again, this older person must die.
Really? That exists in Kenya?
Yes.
That's a belief in some communities.
Oh yes.
Wow, that definitely needs to really be dealt with.
Yes. And it is very bad in some places.
It's
very, very bad in some parts of this country.
Okay.
Yes, and it needs serious advocacy.
Yeah, that requires serious intervention.
Yes.
I've been also wondering, are we going to get to a situation where we start seeing homes where some of these older persons can seek sanctuary? Like instead of a forest, maybe in every county there is a place. If you're 70 and above and you don't have anybody to take care of you, like you can go, or even if you can pay, maybe your children can pay to keep you there. That happens a lot in the West anyway.
Yes, we will begin seeing them a lot. We already have some.
Okay. And remember, we don't have time, so this is your parting shot.
Oh, right.
Yes, yes.
The Huruma Home for the Aged, there is that one. We have a few there. We have one in Kitisuru.
Okay.
We have a few, and the government of Kenya is doing their first one.
Okay.
In Kirinyaga.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, it's almost being opened. The first home for the aged that the government is doing, and there is already a policy out on how to do older persons homes.
Okay.
So the government has already put in place a policy that would guide people who would want to make those homes. Okay. I know currently the Dimese Sisters of the Catholic are planning to do a home for the aged. So there is this.
The time has come.
Yes, the time has come, and we would encourage even counties to do homes, at least a home in every county.
Minimum
would help receive these older persons who have no other support systems, so that they can be able to live longer.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And as we end,
as we wind up,
this week is the International Week of Older Persons. We are going to celebrate the International Day of Older Persons nationally on 1st of October at Komarok Umama Grounds. You are welcome there.
Yes.
And we have a build-up activity in Kibera on Thursday the 26th, where we are calling all older persons to come there. And even if you are a caregiver to the older to an older person, you are welcome there to be able to understand more how you can help your older person. So you are all welcome. But if you're not coming to this event, wherever you are, the older person next door, please make them realize that this is their week. Celebrate them.
Yeah, this is their week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the excellent work that you're doing. Keep it up. Because sisi wote tunaelekea huko.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you so much, viewer. We look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye.